Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Business Spotlight. I'm sitting down today with Lisa Hodgson from My Curated Life. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. So, tell us a bit about your business.
Yeah, so I run a boutique home organising business in Sydney. So we do decluttering and organising in the homes of busy executives and business owners.
Fantastic. And what led you to starting that?
Well, it's been quite a journey, Stephen. So after spending sort of 20 plus years in a sort of senior corporate roles, and my background was in finance and strategy, I had a bit of I don't want to call it a midlife crisis because I don't really like that term, but it really was a midlife crisis of needing to do something a bit different and wanting to sort of step out of that corporate space. So um, I during a career break, I actually went through some coaching to try and help me work out what it is that I wanted to do next. And so, kind of drawing on some of the strengths and skills that I had in my corporate career, I worked out, that the things that I enjoyed and that I was good at was simplifying, getting rid of the noise around systems and processes within corporates, and really trying to get focused on the most important things so that we could be successful and move the business forward. And then in my sort of personal life, I'd always had this passion around homes. So I trained as an interior designer in my spare time and renovated a number of properties over the years. And I just quite fascinated about the impact that your home environment can have on you and the way that you feel, and how you can be productive in your space, but also how you can relax, but also the thing that can stop you and derail you from having that experience in your home.
Mhm.
And then lastly, the other thing was that I having sort of worked in corporate for a number of years, seeing the struggle for a lot of women in the workplace, trying to sort of juggle multiple priorities and climb the corporate career ladder. So, I know that conversations within my own networks were always around the things that happened at home and how difficult it was to keep on top of things. So the last thing, which I think really formed the core of my purpose of why I wanted to do this business, was around trying to help busy women feel more in control in their homes and be able to relax, to enable them to feel that they were able to excel in their careers. So that was really the core sort of purpose. So it was a longish process to getting to that point. But the irony was that a lot of it for me as well centered around my own experience of decluttering my own life,
Mhm.
because it was always there that I knew that I had these jobs to do and really needed to kind of go deep into the things that we'd carried around with us over the years and brought from the UK across to Australia, but I'd never had the time to properly do it. So also during my 6-month career break, I had that time to be able to declutter my own things, and the impact was amazing. Just in terms of uh, just so much easier to tidy up, so much easier to get the kids to look after their own things, their spaces, when we only just had the things that we were using. Because, I know you've got kids, Stephen, but the more stuff that you put in your children's space, the messier it gets. It's that you have 50 pairs of socks in the drawer rather than the 10 that they need, and in the morning what do? But they empty the entire drawer trying to find the one pair of socks that they know they want to wear to school that day. So yeah, I think just taking everything back to what are the things that we really need, and what is the stuff that we've just accumulated over the years. And you know, a lot of that accumulation happens because we get sucked into these sort of marketing messages and just the societal expectations of what we should have in our lives. And so that was a really quite a transformative process for myself and for my family.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I mean, we're meant to be talking about business, but that line you said, the more stuff in a space, the messier it becomes. That's a gold nugget there. That was
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sounds so simple, but
Yeah.
it sounds so simple, but in the busyness of life, like how often do you just stop to think about that? Often we're just in survival mode. We're just trying to keep on top of the chores and we're shuffling the stuff around. And it's not very often that you actually get the time and the headspace to just start going, wow,
Yeah.
you know, what is all this stuff? Where has it come from? Do we need it? You know, we just get sucked onto that treadmill of just trying to keep up the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you notice it when you have to move. So you said you've been open for 3 years. What's the growth journey been like? Has it been bumpy, or has it been up and up and up and up and up?
Yeah, I mean, definitely bumpy that first year with the lockdowns. Although some of that was thankfully smoothed out by the government providing some financial support. So I guess I was quite fortunate in a way that because I'm a chartered accountant, I set everything up well, and so I was able to access some of that funding. So that helped. But yeah, I mean, look, it's been a steady growth journey over the last 2 years. And we're at the point now where I think, like a lot of business owners, we know where we want to go to, but getting to that next stage is really challenging because of time. It's the biggest thing. So we're at that point where we're feeling like we need to take some brave steps now to bring in the extra help that we need to get rid of a lot of the stuff that really sucks up your time, the admin tasks, the things that other people can be doing for us, so that we can really start to work on some of it's different revenue streams, and some of it's just growing, investing the time and the effort into the sales and marketing side of things to grow the existing revenue stream as well. But yeah, it's a challenge because it's just that we've got to invest now to grow, and just being confident enough that it's worth doing that.
Yeah, confidence plays a big part. What have you learned about yourself since starting this business?
Well, the funniest thing is with our business is, so as I said, my background was in finance. My business partner's background was in marketing, and in our experience to working together, what we've discovered actually is that our roles are reversed. So she's actually and it's brilliant because so as soon as I sort of started the business, I just found myself wanting to go towards the sales, the marketing, and really learn something new, because I'd never had any exposure to that really, or only from a finance lens. But just that journey of learning something new and growing and developing new skills for me has been really really engaging. And likewise for my my business partner, she's learning a lot more around sort of finance operations, and loving it. And we're both sort of gone, it's strange, like you kind of look back and go, were we in the wrong careers from the beginning, or is it that we're enjoying learning something new? But yeah, I think that's been wonderful actually. So yeah.
It's following on from that, what marketing or lead generation strategies have you found best suit your business, most effective?
I mean, I'm still working through that and doing quite a lot of work in that space at the moment. But look, we started off as a service business. Our initial strategy was to define we're really focused on creating a brand, and not just not just thinking we're a small 2-person business and it's just about the two of us, but trying to create a brand that resonates with people. So we put a lot of effort and focus at the beginning in our website, and getting our website optimized for search engine, and putting some money into Google, and that's actually, as a first stage strategy for us, has worked really well. And we, at the moment, we get most of our traffic comes through Google. However, we know that can be a bit of a fickle place at times, and it's constantly changing. So we don't want to just rely on that for the long term. So we are now developing more strategies around LinkedIn is one that we're focusing on, which is a bit of a different way of thinking, because as a service business, I think LinkedIn can be challenging. But yeah, we're trialing a few things on there, and we've been engaged on some programs to help us sort of think through that as well. But I think the important thing that I've learned is to really try and focus on not too many things at once.
Gotcha.
So try and master one before you move on to the next one. So that's really what we're trying to do. People say to me all the time, "Oh, you should be on TikTok. You should be doing Pinterest. You should be, and you can end up just scattering yourself all over the place and then never really doing any of those things particularly well." So I think that's been sort of a big learning for us, and sometimes we have to keep reining ourselves back in to stay focused.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice, is to do something really well, then add something else, do that really well, and you over time you get some really good channels.
Yeah.
When thinking about your business, just the business,
Yeah.
what keeps you up at night?
For me, it's my brain, I'm probably like a shiny new things kind of a person. So I
Like
get
most
really
entrepreneurs.
Pardon?
Like most entrepreneurs, yes.
Yeah. And so at the moment, so there's been quite a few things sort of within our business that have come up where we're like, oh my God, we could so do that and that would be amazing. And so I find myself spending a lot of time thinking about those things, and I know that we can't do all of those things right now, but thinking about, well, for the future, like, could we do that? And they're the sort of the positive things that kind of keep me up at night. Then I think it's probably secondary. It's just more the people aspects of things. So we're only a small team at the moment, but making sure that we're having really good conversations within our business. So I think anybody that's in a partnership will appreciate sometimes that can be a challenge to make sure you're sort of aligned and that you're supporting each other, and you're listening and you're aware of how the other person's thinking, and trying to sort of really pull on each other's strengths, because I think that's the beauty of a partnership, when you can make it work, is that you complement each other. But it does require sort of constant work, I think, to make sure that you're not going off in different directions.
Yeah, that's it's an advantage and a challenge. So yeah, there's just so much evidence to say that partnerships are more successful. We often hear about the terrible stuff because the relationships, but yeah, it definitely needs managing. Here's the real coach's question: if I was able to like a genie, grant you one wish out of these three, what would it be for your business? More business through the door, bigger and better team, or more time for yourself?
At this stage, my husband would say more time for myself, but don't tell him this, but I would say a bigger and better team for me at
Okay.
the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where we're focused is, yeah, bringing more people in, getting VA support in so that we can grow. Because I know, uh, I know there's a lot of focus on you looking after your well-being and not working too hard, but I also know the reality of running a small business, and particularly in the early years, is you do have to work really hard if you want to be successful.
Yep.
And it can be a challenge sort of manage that. And I always say to people in my network, don't think that leaving your corporate career and starting a business is an easy option, because I think a lot of people go into it thinking, oh, it'll be great because I can just I can choose when I want to work. And
Yeah.
we, all of us that are in it, we know that that's
Yeah.
just not the truth. And it's actually so incredibly hard to switch your brain off from work when it's your baby and it's something that you're creating. So yeah, but I very much sort of think about the future. So for me, it's about putting in the work now that will enable that to happen in the future by bringing more people on board, and being able to, I guess, step away more from the day-to-day stuff as you grow.
Mhm. Yeah, fantastic. And thanks for sharing that. That's people need to know that. Yeah, in the beginning it's a lot of hard work, but
Oh,
too
yeah,
often, in my experience as a coach, it's people in business 10 years are still doing it when they don't have to. So yeah, but those early years are tough. What are you excited about for the future for the business?
um, look, I mean, what I get excited about is the clients that we're working for. So
Mhm.
both my business partner and I, the joy that we get out of knowing that we've really helped somebody, and to see sort of the look on people's faces when they come in and they look at the space and they're just blown away. But also, we often get clients coming back like 12 months later and going, I can't tell you how much this has changed my life.
Wow.
And we know it's life changing. It changes people's sort of focus and outlook. We had one lady came back to us and said, and she'd been through a traumatic period in her life, when she got us in. But going through that process with her and decluttering actually led to her basically taking an opportunity overseas. And she said she felt the clearing of her mind by getting rid of the possessions in her life and making just day-to-day life feel so much easier, gave her the headspace to sort of consider and think about this opportunity, and actually just go for it. She said, I would never have taken it, because my headspace was so different to where it was. So to hear those sort of stories, that's what gets us excited, because we know that it can make a real difference to somebody's life. But to get that feedback from our clients is just wonderful. And so that's what gets us excited day to day. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so anyone listening to this, and thinking that, yes, that's me that you're talking about,
Yeah.
how should they get in touch with you?
Look, it's different ways. So hop over to our website, which is www.mycuratedlife.com.au. That's probably the best place. You can contact us through there, or feel free to drop me an email, lisa@mycuratedlife.com.au. We cover all areas of Sydney
Mhm.
at the moment. Hopefully we might cover some other areas over time. But yeah, just drop us a note, or give us a call, and tell us what your challenges are.
Awesome. And I'll put that website in the in the show notes as well. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your story. Some really good insights there, and some gold nuggets about how we could be better organized and have a curated life. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks so much for having me on.
You are most welcome.